Hey guys, welcome to the Behearthealthy KU page, and today we're going to be discussing a story about Dale. So, Dale was coming home one day from a weekend away, and he stopped at Sainsbury's for some bread. In the car park, there was a blood pressure unit, a mobile blood pressure unit, offering free checks for blood pressure, and he thought, why not? And went in. When after getting his reading, the nurse said to him, I don't want to worry you, but you really need to go see a doctor as soon as possible. It was a bolt from the blue for him as he had never felt unwell and he thought it quite strange. However, his readings was 180 over 120, which he found out after researching was quite a high blood pressure and that it's quite serious. So he saw his doctor the following day, and the doctor confirmed the readings. And the doctor said that although his readings were high, it wasn't too serious. Although the doctor, so Dale still felt very anxious, and he really did not agree. Dale had many questions for the doctor, and in the end, they just agreed that they would have a few tests done and look for any underlying causes before he started any medical treatment. So over the next few weeks, Dale had every test available, including an ECG, and all of the tests came back okay. It was then he was prescribed his first medicine. And he had researched the medicines thoroughly and the treatments by both talking to medical professionals and on the internet and talking to friends. So he was quite determined that his medicines shouldn't have an impact on his sexual functions as some drugs may have. So he was first prescribed an ACE inhibitor, and the dose was slowly increased over a few weeks, but he found it only produced a small lowering of his blood pressure. This was followed by the addition of a calcium channel blocker, which also then lowered the levels, but still by not enough. So the dose of ACE inhibitor was increased further, and roughly 5 months after he'd walked into the mobile unit, his blood pressure had become controlled and dropped to a consistent 120 over 80. He knew this because he had bought a state-of-the-art blood pressure machine and tested himself regularly. Although Dale was never fat, the doctor said his weight was not a problem. But Dale still decided to cut down on chocolate and crisps, and he still lost over a stone. He was struggling to get supported by his friends and family because they didn't really realize or appreciate the severity and seriousness of having high blood pressure. However, now after educating themselves and Dale teaching them, they're coming around and they're trying to now cook with less salt for him and making sure there's plenty of fruit and vegetables around there for him. The thing Dale struggles with the most tends to be taking several pills a day or at 2 different times. And even now, it's still a struggle for him to remember because he had never taken pills before in his life. And one of the biggest challenges for Dale as well is taking the pills even though he doesn't feel ill. Because a lot of the times we associate with taking medications when feeling ill. So it's a strange sensation, and they're an example of having to take medication even though you feel fine. But in this case, ignorance is not bliss, and leaving it can cause issues that can be quite harmful in the long term, even if you feel fine in the short term. So Dale is an excellent story of why we should get our blood pressure checked and raise awareness for blood pressure and staying heart healthy. So thank you so much for listening, and I hope you join us next time.